Good morning you two, happy Tuesday, welcome to today's lesson from home for our maths lesson today. Today we are going to be learning about adding two-digit numbers. So today you will need a pencil, your home learning book and the White Rose Hope maths template if you can download it, or you could use it on your iPad, or you can copy it into your exercise book, a tens and ones template from your reading folder that looks like this. And if you don't have that, you can just draw it out using the tens and ones like we do normally. Okay, so if you'd like to pause the video now to make sure you've got everything ready to go. Okay, so for today's starter, we're going to continue looking at odd and even numbers. And as you can see, I've used a Numicon to help us really visually see the difference between odd and even numbers. So looking at the top row, you can see these numbers are odd. Now looking at them, you can see they're not a multiple of 2 because you can see that even though they've got groups of 2, there is still a 1 that isn't in a pair. So that means it's odd because it's not a multiple of 2. And then if you look on the bottom row at our even numbers, you can see they're even because they're all in groups of 2. So they've all got a little partner to show that they're in groups of 2. So you can see 2, 4, 6, 8, so our multiples of 2 and counting in 2s are all even numbers, but any numbers that are odd don't have a pair, so they have got 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. So any digits that end in 1, 3, 5, 7 or 9, like 37, 48, even 1009, because it ends in a 9, it will be an odd number. Same with our even numbers. Any number that ends in a 0, 2, 4, 6 or an 8 in the ones column will be an even number. Okay, so in your exercise book or on your sheet of paper, we've got these even numbers. Now, I've made a mistake today, which I want you to try and see if I can not trick you out and see if you can find these numbers. In my even numbers, there are 3 numbers that are odd, that are hiding in there. Now remember, an even number is a multiple of 2. So these can end in 2, 4, 6, 8 or 0. Can you see if you can find the odd numbers that are hiding in our even numbers? So I'd like you to pause the video now and see if you can find the 3 odd numbers that are hiding in my numbers. Fantastic. Okay, let's have a look to see if you found my odd. Okay, I'm going to go through the numbers in order. So 2 is an easy one. It starts in our multiples of 2, so we know that it is an even number. We've then got 14. Now I know 14 is an odd number because in the ones column it ends in 4. And 32. Which is my first odd number? Are you ready? Let's see. 5. Brilliant. I hope that you circled or wrote down number 5. 5 is an odd number. Ready for the next one? 1. Brilliant. 1 is an odd number. And the last one that you should have found? 47. Fantastic. If you found all of those 3 odd numbers, make sure you give yourself 3 fabulous ticks to show that you're amazing. Okay, now we're going to move on to our main part of the lesson. So you'll need your tens and ones and you'll need your pencil and your exercise book. So if you need to pause now, you can pause ready to go. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at using our base 10 to help us show our exchanging. So showing when 10 ones are the same as 1 10. So on screen you can see that we've got lots of ones. Let's count them all together. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. There are 17 ones. Now we're going to show how we can exchange those ones for 1 10. So I'm going to cross and count to show when I've got 10. Ready to cross and count and point with me? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Brilliant. I love crossing and counting because it shows that we're doing accurate counting. Now that I know I've got 10, I can exchange my 10 ones for 1 base 10, like so. Now I can show that 17 has one group of 10. Now I can carry on counting my ones. Ready to cross and count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 17 has 7 ones. So I can now know that 17 ones is equal to 1 10 and 7 ones, just like when we partition with our 10s and 1s on top. Fabulous. Pause the video now and see if you can complete all of the questions on question 1, remembering to cross and count to show your group of 10. Okay, so now we're going to practice doing our column addition using our base 10 so that we can visually see why we have to exchange 10. Okay, so I've got my 10s and 1s and I've got my numbers already made for me, so it's nice and easy. So just like we always do, we always start adding the 1s first. Let's count them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh dear, we know that 12 is more than 10, so we're going to pause there and we're going to count again, remembering to cross and pause when we get to 10. Can you shout stop when we get to 10? Fabulous. Ready to cross and count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fabulous, stopping. So I can now, because I've crossed those 10, I can exchange that for an exchange 10. Now I've put that underneath my 10s column because a 10 can't go in the 1s column. Now I can carry on counting how many 1s I've got left. 1, 2. So my 2 can go under there, and with my 10 together it makes 12, but my 10 has to be partitioned and exchanged into my 10s column, and I have 2 1s left. Now I can count all of my 10s together. Don't forget to count that extra 10 that you've exchanged. Ready to cross and count? Fabulous. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 10s. So altogether we have made the number 62. Brilliant. Pause the video here and have a go at question number 2. Okay, well done year 2. Now we're going to have a go at using our 10s and 1s by just using our digits by writing the numbers into the boxes. So I've put on the screen a picture of our working wall from our classroom so that you can remember the steps to success when using your column addition. Okay, let's try the first one together. So the first question we're going to try together is 7 add 4. Looking at step number 1, I know we need to write the question, so I'm going to write 7 add 4 equals. Now I know some of you, or most of you, should be able to do this in your head, but we're going to use our 10s and 1s to have practice with our exchanging. So I need to put the 10s and 1s on top of my question. 7 doesn't have any 10s, so I just need 1s. Super, and I can make the first number in 10s and 1s in my column. So remember, 7 doesn't have any 10, so I'm just going to put it in my 1s column, and I'm going to put my add at the side to remind me that I'm adding. Fabulous. Okay, we're now on step number 4, so we need to make the next number underneath. So my next number is number 4, so I can add that in the 1s column because it doesn't have any 10s. Then I can add the 1s. Remember, if it's bigger than 10, we have to exchange 10 under the 10s for later when we're adding the 10s. So 7 add 4, so I'm going to put 7 in my head and 4 fingers. Have you got 7 in your head and 4 fingers ready? Brilliant. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So remember, when we write 11, 11 has 1 1 and 1 10, and if I read it back that way, I remember that I've made 11. Fantastic, but my 10 has to go under my 10s because we've exchanged. I'm ready to go count my 10s. Now this one's super easy to count when I count my 10s on step number 6, but don't forget to add the extra 10 that we've exchanged. So I've got nothing, add nothing, don't forget my 1, My 110 we exchanged is just 1. So 7 add 4 equals 11. Don't forget to write the answer. And then you can check through using your steps. Okay, now we're going to have a go at the next one, and practice together ones that has adding tens and ones together. So remember, the first step, I'm going to use the steps off the working wall, is to write the question. 37 add 14 equals something. We always write that down to help us remember the numbers that we are adding. 37 add 14 equals something. Do you remember our next step? That's right, we need to add the tens and ones on top to help us partition our number into tens and ones. Now I can do step number 3 and make the first number in the tens and ones. Are you ready to do this on your tens and ones too? Brilliant. So 37 has 3 tens and 7 ones. Remember, we're adding, so don't forget to write that there to help me remember that when I add, my numbers need to get bigger. Okay, now I can make the next number underneath. So 14 has 1 10 and 4 ones, so I can add that underneath. Does your column addition look like mine ready to go? Brilliant. Okay, now we can start adding, and remember, we start adding with the ones. We've got a gold star. If it is bigger than 10, exchange the 10 under the tens for later. So don't forget, if we get to 10, we need to stop. So I'm going to add 7, add 4. So 7 in your head. How many fingers? 4. Brilliant. Let's count together. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I can make my 11 has 1, 1 and exchange my 10 under there. And if I read it back, I can see I've made 11. Fantastic. Now I can count the tens, but remember, don't forget to count the extra 10 that you've exchanged. So I need to do 3, add 1 more, easy peasy, is 4. Add another one is 5. Fantastic. So I've got 5 tens. So my answer is 51. Don't forget to write your answer in the box. Excellent. Pause the video now. Remember to use the steps to success that are on the screen and have a go at completing question 3, 4 and 5. Well done, Year 2. You are absolutely brilliant at column addition. So now we're going to use our column addition skills to help us solve some reasoning and problem solving for question number 6. So the question says, fill in the missing digits to complete the number sentence. So we're going to use our steps to success from our working wall to help us. So the first thing I need to do is to write the question. Now I don't know how many tens that first number has, but I know it has 9 ones. So I'm going to write what I know. You can do this too. Pause the video now and write the question. Brilliant. So we should have something tens and 9 ones, add something tens and 3 ones equals 62. So just like in our adding, for our next step, for step number 2 on our working wall, we need to write our tens and ones to help us to partition. So this number has something tens and 9 ones, and this number has something tens and 3 ones. Now the first job is to make the first number. Now I don't know how many tens it has, but I do know it has 9 ones. And for the next number, it's exactly the same. I don't know how many tens it has, but I know it has 3 ones. So I'm going to leave this one for now and do the 3 ones. Now I can add this 9 add 3. So 9 add 3, I need to put 9 in my head because it's the biggest number, and add 3 fingers. Have you got your 9 and your 3 fingers ready to add? Brilliant. Let's count together. 9, 10, 11, 12. Brilliant. So I've got 2 ones for my 12 and 1 to exchange. Fantastic. Now I don't know what tens I need to add together, but I do know that they need to make 62, so I can put my 6 tens in there. Now remember, when we made 12, we already exchanged 10, so I already have 1 10. So now I need 2 more numbers to add to make 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 1 10 off the total to see how many I've got left. So 6 take away 1, don't need to use our fingers for that one. 6 take away 1 is 5. Brilliant. So I need two numbers to add together to make 5. Now, there are lots of different ways from doing this. So what I'd like you to do is to pause the video now and see if you can find two numbers that add together to put in your tens that make 5. Brilliant. Okay, so if I had 0 here, then I know that 0 to make 5, I would need 5. So you could have 0 and 5, because 0 add 5 is 5. Add my extra 1 10 that I exchanged makes 6. What other numbers could you have? I could not start on 0 and I could start on 1, so I could have 1. But then to make 5, I would have 4. 1 add 4 equals 5. Add my extra exchanged 1 for my 10. 1 add 4 is 5. Add an extra 10 makes 6. Do you know any other ways we could do it? Brilliant. We could have 2 and 3, 3 and 2, 4 and 1, or 5 and 0. Brilliant. You can pause this video now and see if you can complete the rest of question 6. Well done today, Year 2. I hope you've enjoyed your lesson on column addition at home with me today. You've been absolutely brilliant. The answers will be coming up on the next slide, so don't forget to mark them. If you have made any errors, that's okay. Remember, that means we're just learning. Just important that we go back over them to make sure that we know what we are doing. If you have finished, make sure you take a photo to upload onto Seesaw so that we can see your fantastic learning that you've been doing. Thank you so much for all your support. Tomorrow we're going to be continuing our maths, but we'll be looking at column subtraction. So I will see you tomorrow for our next math lesson.